Hi guys, Austin Stout here from Stout Sport Performance. In the last video, we talked about this concept of longevity and that we don't want to just expand our lifespan, the number of years that we live, but we want to expand our health span and the number of functional and healthy years that we have within our lives. And what we're going to do in today's video is talk about how you should be approaching your movement, exercise, and training habits to make sure that those are helping contribute to living a longer and healthier life, where you get a high quality of life today, and then you also have a better chance of extending that quality of life into your later years so you can be functional, independent, and do all the things that you want to be able to do for a lifetime. Now, we're going to use the analogy of a car. We're going to use the car as a metaphor here for the body. And we're going to start and we're going to imagine a car that has the engine of a Ferrari. So it's got a super powerful engine, but the body of this car is all beat up. It's rusted. It's got loose bolts all over the place. When it tries to drive fast, you can see it vibrating. Maybe it's got a flat tire. You know, the tires haven't been rotated. The point is you have a really powerful engine, but the body of this car is just not functioning well. And what the obvious outcome of this is damage to the car. This is not going to go well for a long period of time. And what this means is when we start thinking about the body, that big, powerful engine is our fitness. Think about your strength. How strong are you? Think about how cardiovascularly fit you are. And you can be really fit, but if the body of your car, so to speak, isn't built well, meaning your movement patterns, your fundamental movement patterns are poor, that eventually that powerful engine can end up causing more problems than good. And what this means is if we're moving poorly, if we're running a lot, we're training a lot, but always with faulty movement patterns, there's a chance that we're actually increasing our risk for developing degenerative joint disease. Now, it's not the only risk factor. It doesn't mean that if you're moving poorly, you're guaranteed to go down this path, but we know that our biomechanics are going to play a role and a large impact into the health of our joints as we age. So first and foremost, if you want to move functionally as you age, you have to be persistent about moving with good quality. Not just within a gym or exercise setting, but also within your daily life. You got to practice high quality movement patterns to try to support good joint and soft tissue health as you age. Now we're going to start thinking about the fitness-based qualities that we need to train to make sure that we're trying to push ourselves towards health and better longevity. And we're going to start here with talking about an engine to be a metaphor for our cardiovascular fitness. And we're going to talk about two specific qualities: aerobic capacity and aerobic efficiency. Now, aerobic capacity is going to be basically the amount of oxygen that we can bring into the system at relatively high intensity exercise. So think about this as the size of the engine. We want to make that engine nice and big to be able to get in a lot of oxygen into the body, especially at high exercise intensities. And the other thing we need is aerobic efficiency. And this is going to be how efficient we are at using that oxygen. If we're really efficient, we can run on less fuel. So to speak, it would be like having an engine that requires less fuel and can go farther. So for us, that would be working at a higher intensity, but being able to do so at a relatively low amount of oxygen consumption. And so to train these two things, what we're going to do is train at relatively low intensities for long periods of time. It's going to be about 80% of our cardiovascular aerobic based training, and be about zone 2 training. And then we're going to spend some time at really high intensities. We're going to think about zone 5 type training here. And that might only be 10% of our training, probably maximum 20, and we won't really want to venture into any higher percentages with that. The amount of improvement that we see by going into higher percentages is relatively limited. We just get more fatigue at that point. So we're going to stay at about that 80-20, that really light aerobic intensity zone 2, and then occasionally going into that zone 5 really intense training so that we can build that really big but efficient engine. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is try to train for strength, and we're going to include here strength and power. And we're going to do a little bit of a foreshadowing here. Stability and dynamic stability or coordination is also going to tie into this. These are difficult categories to separate entirely. But we need to be strong, and we need to maintain muscle mass as we age. But we also have to make sure that we maintain our ability to move fast and move light to moderate objects also relatively fast. That's important, not just for life, but as we age. So we're going to make sure that we strength train through major movement patterns to maintain muscle mass and maintain our strength. And we're going to make sure that we train for power, moving fast or moving light to moderate objects fast, because we actually lose our power at about 1.5 times the rate that we lose our strength. The other benefit of doing some power-based exercise, whether that's some jumping-based exercises or medicine ball throws, for example, or kettlebell swings, these are going to be great to help you maintain a really highly functional nervous system. So we want to think about making sure we train for strength, maintain muscle mass, maintain our maximum strength capabilities, but also training power because we lose that quality faster than we lose our strength. We need that as well, and it's going to help you maintain a relatively sharp nervous system. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about here is being able to train for stability and dynamic stability. We need to be able to stand on one leg without losing our balance. And more importantly, we need to be able to move on one leg without losing our balance. So it's important that we think about doing our stability training not just by staying in isometric positions, meaning we're holding a position, but also starting from isometric positions, moving with a certain degree of tempo, and then stopping and finding our stability again at other isometric positions. So those are the things we've got to be training for and got to be thinking about in our movement and exercise habits if we're really concerned about expanding our health span in those functional years that we have in our life where we can do what we want and remain independent throughout that process. So we got to build that engine, build a big, powerful, and efficient engine within that car. We need a strong frame and we need a powerful frame. And then we also need to make sure that thing is stable. All the bolts are screwed in, the wheels are placed in the right spot, so to speak. So thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.